I've been throwing clay for 12 years, and in all that time, I've never been unnerved by a material. Clay is honest. It does what your hands ask of it. It yields, resists, cracks, or sings, depending on how you treat it. But the lump I bought last week, that clay wasn't honest. It wasn't even still. I found it at a tiny antique stall behind the Monroe Bay boardwalk, wedged between bins of old postcards and rusted keys. The vendor, an older woman with cloudy blue eyes, kept staring at me as I picked it up. The clay was reddish, too red, like dried blood mixed with earth, warm even in the cold spring air. "Belonged to a potter before you," she said. Her voice sounded like gravel being poured. "He stopped working with it. It didn't like that." I thought she was drunk or eccentric. You meet people like that in Monroe Bay all the time. Still, something in her tone lingered. I bought it anyway. Artists are idiots like that. I brought the clay home to my studio, a cramped converted shed behind my apartment. The moment I set it on the table, something felt wrong. There's a stillness to clay, an obedient heaviness. But this lump, it felt like holding a small animal. There was a pulse. No, not a pulse, a throb, as if something inside was stretching, yawning, waking. I set it on the wheel, wet my hands, and leaned in. That's when I heard it, a soft, wet sound, like someone breathing through mud. I pulled my hands back. The clay sat there, silent, inert, ridiculous. "Stop being paranoid," I muttered. I set the wheel spinning. My hands touched the clay again, guiding it upward. It rose eagerly, too eagerly. The shape widened, hollowed, then folded inward on itself with a violent jerk. The wheel wobbled. Water splashed onto my shirt. Clay doesn't move like that, not on its own. I killed the wheel and stepped back. The form I'd tried to throw had collapsed, but not into a natural slump. It curled and arched. It looked like skeletal fingers reaching upward. I didn't work with it again that night. The next morning, the clay wasn't where I'd left it. It sat on the table, perfectly round. I hadn't touched it. Clay doesn't move on its own, and I told myself I must have forgotten putting it there. Until I noticed the long red smear on the wall. It was a streak that trailed from the table to the electrical outlet, as if something dragged itself along the plaster. I should have thrown the clay out. I should have walked it straight to the dumpster, or the ocean, or wherever cursed things go when they're finished with you. But potters don't waste clay, especially good clay. And God help me, it was good. I put the clay back on the wheel, and this time, the moment my hands touched it, it warmed, like it recognized me. It softened instantly beneath my palms and rose smooth and tall, spinning like it wanted to please me. But every shape I tried to make, it resisted. Bowls collapsed, vases buckled, cups twisted at bizarre angles. I leaned close. "What do you want to be?" The clay shifted. I swear to God it shifted. It stretched upward, forming a distorted column. The top rounded, bulged, then indented. There was a face, a twisted echo of mine. It wasn't perfect. It looked like someone sculpting from memory, poorly. But the features were there. My cheekbones, my nose, my crooked eyebrow. The mouth was wrong, too wide, too open, as if begging to be fed. I stumbled back, knocking over a bucket of slip. The face then collapsed, melting into a formless mass. The clay didn't want to be shaped. It wanted to shape me. That night, someone knocked on my door. I opened it without thinking. It was the old vendor. Her eyes were clearer this time. "You worked with it," she said. I nodded. "You shouldn't have." Her gaze drifted over my shoulder toward the studio. "It's hungry now. It likes artists. We give it more to copy." "What is it?" I asked. She exhaled a long, exhausted breath. "A clay eater. Not alive, not dead, just hungry. It doesn't consume food. It consumes identity." I slapped the door frame. "That's ridiculous." "Is it?" she whispered. "Have you checked your fingerprints?" I froze. "Check them." Slowly, I lifted my hand. My fingertips were reddened, swollen, and smooth where prints should have been. "Once it learns you," she said, backing away, "it won't stop until it's finished." "What does that mean?" But she was already leaving. "Hey! If you knew this, why sell it to me?" She didn't answer. I slammed the door shut and stormed into my studio. The clay was gone from the wheel. It wasn't on the table or the shelves. My eyes scanned the room, and finally, I saw it in the corner. It was in a new shape, life-sized yet curled in a fetal position. It lifted its hand, then its head, almost like a puppet learning movement for the first time. The mouth opened, and in my exact voice, it whispered, "Teach me." It moved exactly as I moved, and I knew if it ever finished me, if it ever completed the shape,